Jurassic World Evolution 3 has finally introduced in-depth building, joining the ranks of other get that one out of here, get it out. Yes, Prehistoric Kingdom and Jurassic World Evolution 3 are officially going head-to-head today, as I make the same exact habitat for the same exact animal in each game. Let's see how they hold up next to each other. Let's get into it. So here's our test subject for today. We are working with the beautiful Velociraptor. I kind of want to go for classic Jurassic Park theme. So we have the base of that down. So I'm kind of working with the terrain a bit. I want to make this feel like a dynamic habitat, like it feels like something that's ripped right out of nature. Or maybe we could do a little bit of sand in here. Maybe. Ooh, I really like that sand texture. That's actually really good. All right, we can work with that later. I want to work on the layout first. I want to have this river kind of come around here, and then it feeds out to this little kind of watering hole. Let's kind of hug this corner right over here so we can kind of hide where that river mouth kind of comes from. Again, I'm kind of going in this without really much of a plan. I'm just doing whatever speaks to me. Listen, I know waterfalls can be overdone, absolutely, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna do them. I think having one as a nice focal point back there is gonna bring a little bit more interest to this habitat. And this actually gives us a decent excuse to kind of make this a little bit of a natural barrier. In real life, I am sure velociraptors might have been very agile. They could have easily scaled a mountain like this, but we're not going to worry about that. We have rocks. All right, from here we can kind of raise this up a little bit. The reason why I'm kind of doing this is so that our waterfall feels like it's actually coming from a higher elevation. A lot of the times when you do see kind of pictures of waterfalls, you'll notice that they're not like at the tippity top. Ever. They always have to come from somewhere, and that's kind of what we're doing right over here. I really want our guests to have a little bit more of an elevated experience, so I think having this viewing gallery right here, that's going to work pretty well. And we will absolutely fix these paths up later down the line. But from here, it looks like they aren't able to escape, which is very good, except for maybe here. Easy solution would just be to throw down a bunch of rocks. Yeah, you can see you don't know where to go now, buddy. Oh, wait, no, you do. No, don't go. All right, let's cover up this section too. I'm not really liking how that's all looking. I'm already liking how the flow of this habitat, I don't know, it just feels so organic. Like you can watch the waves of like the terrain kind of like swooshing. Pretty good. Now this all looks fine and dandy, and I can make this as naturalistic as I want, but I want to have a little bit of interest in here. But yes, what I'm going to do, I'm taking the emergency shelter, and I'm just going to delete the floor. I'm going to actually split the shelter part out of there, and we're just gonna start to remove some pieces in here. Nothing crazy. Maybe widen this out a little bit. Right, we can kind of get rid of all of that back area. If you're struggling to really make an idea come to life, just pick apart some blueprints. First of all, if I can find my raptors, does that size make sense for them? It honestly does. I'm fine with it. I'm cool. All right, we can go ahead, tuck that right in there. Kind of flatten out the terrain around it just to make it feel like it fits. Doing like backstage areas, especially in a game like Jurassic World Evolution, it feels kind of out of place. It feels like you shouldn't have something like this, so having it be just out of the sight line, but just in enough to the point where if we do come over here to the viewing gallery, you can still just about make it out, that kind of works. All right, our raptors can kind of climb this hill, which isn't something that I want. So we're going to go ahead and start covering this up with some basic rocks. Part of why I love the rocks in this game too is each one has its own little texture going on. So you can see this one feels kind of craggy. It feels very sheer cliffs, but this one has these beautiful kind of delicious grooves that go up and down and makes for this really interesting look. I'm a big fan of that. And you can always mix and match them, especially if you do want some flatter areas in your habitat. I think this rock helps out so much, and just overlapping them too is so good. Like it creates so much more texture. I think having a few kind of bigger pieces of rock over here might look kind of interesting. All right, let's get one more rock just to kind of hide that a little bit more. I like it. All right, if I can kind of switch out the time of day. So this is a relatively big habitat. Still, I think it's actually a decent size for these animals. I wish we could freeze the time of day like this because I can't see crap in this. All right, let's go ahead and get painting. I always like to do cliffs. It's so subtle, but instead of like the sheer contrast between like the rocks and the grass, I always kind of like to have something that blends it into the terrain, you know? This is actually shaping up nice. I do kind of like some of the grass growing up these hills though, so I'm going to try and preserve as much of that as possible. So we have that. I definitely want to use the sand down here. Like, this color sand looks so good to me, dude. And it's a great way to kind of shape up your rivers a little bit more, make them feel a little bit more organic. Yeah, let's change out that color. Yes, that's looking very good. So I think I do want to go with not East Asian grassland, maybe. Oh, I kind of like the bushes that this brush gives us. Yes, I like it. So let's kind of continue this right up here. I love that little pebble texture. Make our radius just a little bit smaller so we can kind of work around these rocks. Have this continue right around this lip. And yeah, this basically gives us a nice little base to work off of. Oh yeah, the rock-strewn flatlands. That's such a good little texture in there. All right, and basically all up here, we can go ahead and just do a big old layer of grass. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling conifer today. Let's get a couple groves of these guys in here. I was saying this in my last video on lagoons, but having clumps of foliage together helps so much when it comes to making your stuff look a little bit more realistic. A lot of the times you'll see certain plants kind of taking over certain areas in a habitat. Not even just a habitat, but even in real life, and having these kinds of like clusters of conifers together, that's something that feels so realistic. You'll absolutely see that. I do want this part of the habitat to feel a little bit more wooded. Let's kind of have these trail outside over here, kind of like make these contour lines follow each other. Okay, that's looking good. Now, not only that, I still want to have some classic tropical foliage in here, so I'm just going to go through with this brush. Basically anywhere where I don't have conifers, there's going to be tropical trees, especially inside the habitat. I haven't really been doing too much of that. I think having a little bit more clumps in here is going to work a bit better. Oh yes, I love that big tree right there. Let's kind of continue this around this viewing platform too. All right, I guess our dinosaurs should be able to eat. Let's kind of throw in a live prey feeder. I think up here would be a decent focal point. Just got rid of one of the trees, but that's okay because this is a part of the video where we do custom foliage. Let's get our random rotation on and we can go ahead and start kind of decorating these water areas. In case if you're curious how I decide where foliage goes, how I place it, I don't. I simply let it speak to me. But no, realistically, I think about where it would make the most amount of sense for certain pieces to be. I kind of also follow wherever the terrain is, so you can see there's a little bit more rock in there. So elephant grass or reeds kind of like this would be able to get a little bit better of a stake hold in there. And I don't just place these at the water edge, you also want to have these kind of trail around the water habitat too. You got to think about how far up the water might come, especially if it's like a little bit more of a tropical rainy environment like so. And don't be afraid to put some on the rocks as well. Really helps to kind of contextualize it a little bit more. And not only that, but there's different, and I like to combine those elephant grasses with these reeds in here. You don't really need to get too specific with these, especially since you can't scale them. But I like to just throw these in here for a little bit more interest, you know? It just gives it a little extra splash of color. You get some really good effects when you let these kind of drape over the sides of like cliff faces. I know we have all the access to those beautiful kind of terrain tools, foliage tools, but there's something that just looks so much better about hand-placed foliage. Right, so now that we have all of our basic kind of like ground level foliage in here, we can go ahead and start placing some bigger trees as focal points. I like the idea of having just a nice big mangrove right in the middle over here. Always got to place the breathing roots too. It just makes it look so much more real. Not only that, but we can also throw in some broken trees as well. Super easy way to make a little bit of interest. Throw a log over your waterfall. It just works. There's some beautiful palm trees in this game too. I really like these Mediterranean palm trees. They just have such an interesting little kind of texture in them. I do just want to make this feel a little bit more realistic, so I'm gonna see what I can do about angling this guy up right over here. Just have this be a little bit more of a sheer cliff, you know? Now with these kind of conifers in here, I really like to see these cedar trees. They just look awesome. I'm actually gonna do a little bit of random scale in here too. I think that always makes it seem so much more interesting. Oh, we need this right in here. And I would say we are almost about done with the habitat itself. I kind of want to just decorate this a little bit more. Maybe have this kind of trail downwards. Maybe a little bit of sand on the outskirts of the bunker slash holding. And from here we can start to decorate the outskirts of the habitat. And by outskirts, I just mean what's happening on the outside. This is a fun little effect I've been doing a lot as of late. Has just been doing a couple like connections on the outside, just like outside of the main thoroughfare. It just looks so good. And I usually don't like to connect it up all the way. I kind of like having just a little bit of competing interest, you know? Maybe have that kind of pathway edge out right there and have this one edge out right over here. All right, let's see what kind of blueprints we have in here. I kind of want a nice little fountain, have that be sand in there. And on the outside, let's go for a little bit more grassland. I think that's nice. Now I'm kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. I really like using blueprints, guys. I'm sorry. So admittedly, not my best guest area. I don't know, I think it came together pretty well. I'm saving all my creative juices for another project, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this. Let me take you guys on the tour. You enter Jurassic Park. So you got this nice big old plaza in here, tons of room for guests to sit around. You kind of center around this big statue in the middle. Can come right up here to our first viewing area. And sure, I could show you guys inside this what it usually looks like. Get this beautiful look into this nice naturalistic habitat. You get a nice view of the water down there. Of the raptors though, might want to look elsewhere. But yeah, I love this. The dynamic habitat always does come in handy whenever you do get water flowing, whenever you get like interesting things happening, I guess. I don't know. Back in like full bright over here. I'm sorry if you think this doesn't look good. It lets me actually see what's happening, and that's what I care about. So yeah, you have these like different kind of quote unquote sections of the habitat. You have a little bit of a swampier area down here with this little beach side kind of hugging the water area. If we kind of come up a little bit higher, you can see there's a little bit of a redwood forest in there. Nothing crazy, but these beautiful cliffs. Oh, these cliffs, they're so good. You get that little bunker back there, and I didn't even show you guys this too well. Again, all these are just normal frontier blueprints. I think they look so good, but we have this little bit of a guest seating area so that they could kind of sit down, chow down, whatever they want to do. Kind of swoop around over here, and you get this beautiful viewing tower. You can come right in here to show the view, and look at that. You get a good look right at that cliffside up there. That's a motif I really wanted in there. Just having that nice big cliff that overlooks the other viewing gallery. And I like to think our raptors enjoy the habitat. I mean, it's big. Oh yeah, she's taking a little drink right now. I love that. But with this habitat being done, we can go ahead and move over to Prehistoric Kingdom. All right, Prehistoric Kingdom. Let's go, baby. All right, so we need an animal nursery. Can open that up, and we look for Velociraptor. Holy crap, they look so good. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't think that's a Velociraptor. All right, this is a little bit different from our good friend Jurassic World Evolution 3, but I think we can have a little bit of fun. Let's get a natural viewing tower. Let's get natural. I think this has a kind of interesting look with the two of these together. All right, the path system in this game, it's not bad. I think I just forgot how to be used to it is all. Okay, let's get some modern metal fences. I'm gonna try my best to replicate what we had going on before. So we had this. We had a little bit of a bump up right here. Not as intense though. This is gonna be a little difficult to manage in this tighter space. No automatic waterfalls, that's so sad. All right, let's smooth out all this terrain, and I'll try and make this look a little bit more natural back here. So there's about where that little bump out comes to, and this one, I kind of worked myself into a hole with this. This isn't going to be accurate, but it's still going to be good. That's all I care about. And as you can see, Nigel, shut up. As you can see, real velociraptors, they're a lot smaller, which kind of works out for this habitat at least. Oh, look at these rocks. I hold C and move my cursor left to right with this. Works so well, but let's go ahead and start getting these in here. Oh, I really like that moss rock. That's what I love about this game. There's so many awesome little presets. I just love the kinds of textures and colors that we get with these rocks. I don't know. They just feel so much brighter. It's kind of fun. Alright, I do need some big old flat rocks around here just to make this area, this kind of bump out, seem a little bit more feasible. Let's get some normal stone in here. You can do random rotation too. That should be good. As much as I do love that beautiful green stone texture, we gotta get a few different colors in here other than just green. I will say, I think the rocks in this game are so good. Like, there's something fun about making these cliff sides. I think if I had a little bit more practice in this game, it would look so much better, you know? But look, oh my word, that's already looking so good. And man, oh man, the terrain in here is just so much better. We can do some really interesting things down here. Like, it just blends so much better. I like it. I like it very much. So we can do a bunch of wetland sand in here. This should look pretty good. Not only that, but we can do some really awesome kind of like rock work as well. Oh my god, the vegetation, it just works so well. All right, I want some redwoods over here, kind of like what we did before. Got some bigger ones kind of out towards this area. Maybe some towards the back over there, just to give it a little bit more context. I just love how they grow out of the ground, like small animations like that. That's what makes this game so charming to me. I don't know. I think coastal fern forest is going to be really, really good. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. Paint a bunch of that all throughout here, especially on the outside. That's going to give it some nice look. I do want a little bit of that bayou look in here. Oh, look, I didn't even need to place those down. They just work so well. Yeah, I'm not going to mess too much with hand placing foliage in this because, like, this game just does it for you. That's the best part. All right, I know I want some high intensity for the palm forest, so let's go ahead, crank this bad boy up. Y'all, it just works so well. I mean, just look at that. They grow instantly. All right, I think this should help us with that a little bit more. Yeah, we got to get that log on there. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Security Bunker. I'm going to go ahead with this. This is by Typical on the workshop. Wait, this is by Best in Slot. Okay. Wait, I forgot. We gotta hide this right in there. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Best in Slot. Oh, that just looks so good over there. I love it. So admittedly, it's probably not as detailed as my other one, but for the fact of me only spending half as much time in this game, and it looks just as good, except for this. Don't look at this. This just is so awesome to see. Wait, you can... Oh! You guys are discovering this in real time. This is what I love to see. Interaction. It's so good. But yeah, we can use our binoculars, look for our raptors. Look at them. They're just exploring their little habitat. It's so awesome. A waterfall looks pretty decent. Again, we have their little holding back there with bunker. We have like this little elevated area. Let's check it out from down there. Wait, oh, we can jump. Can we jump off of this? Oh, yeah. Oh, she's so impressed by me. She's just pretending not to notice. But yeah, I mean, like, I didn't really want to do too much heavy decorating on the outside of this place anyways. But look at how well this came out. I mean, like, just with the foliage brush, you know? Oh, but look, we can come right up here and we get a beautiful view at our Velociraptor habitat once again. Look at all those reeds, the waterfalls. Trying to find our raptors. Oh, there they are. Again, you can see this is just how much more awesome the navigatable area is in this game. They can... Oh! What the flip? Oh, that's awesome. Holy crap, I love this. I love this damn game. We have just everything else in here. You can look right up there, too. Like, this is just so charming. Can hop right in here, too. We can check out their little habitat. Where are they? Let me see ya. Let me see ya. Yeah, look at that beautiful tail right there. That just looks awesome. But yeah, this habitat, it really did come out so well. I mean, just everything in here just flows one thing into another. And I don't know, it's super cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a new video kind of style. Again, I made habitats in 5 different zoo games before, but I really wanted to take the time to really compare and contrast Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Prehistoric Kingdom. If you guys enjoyed this and wanted to see more, just so let me know. Let me know a new dinosaur to build for. I thought Velociraptor was fun because, you know, PK has a realistic version of them, but Jurassic World Evolution 3 has the iconic version of them. So if there's something else that you guys would like to see, let me know. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I always do appreciate it. If you guys do want to see anything else, let me know in the comments down below, not the description. Have the most wonderful days, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and goodbye.